First time I met Marty, I believe was 2002, and he just signed as a free agent with the Calgary Flames. And I know he was extremely excited about being back, living in Calgary, because Jane, his wife, is from Calgary, and just the whole situation with him being back home and playing there. I really loved his family. Like I got along really well with Jane and the kids, and I remember just great interactions with them, and very nice people, and that really helped me as a young kid. Didn't matter if if there was any questions that I had or anything like that, he was always there to help. So that's something, I always remember those good people that you have, good teammates and good people around a team. Also, the big thing is just how he treated himself as a professional, and how he really prepared himself for the games. Like really, there was no one else that I saw at the time that worked harder than Marty, on or off the ice, and that stuck in my mind as a young player. Sometimes you show up to the rink, and you don't have to stretch as much, or you don't have to work out quite as much, because you're younger, you can get away with it. But here I was watching someone near the end of his career, and he was putting in twice as much time as anyone else, and working harder than anyone else, and really that always stuck with me, and I really appreciated that he taught me and others around me how to do that. Really, the thing that sticks out in my mind is Marty's work ethic, and it was unparalleled in my opinion. It wasn't odd to see him at the end of the game go straight to the weight room and start riding the bike and working out, and just no one could keep up with the guy. And it didn't matter how old you were, if you tried, he would just there's no way that anyone could do it. And I was a very young guy at the time, and it was great for me to watch a guy like that just be an ultimate professional. He really taught you how to prepare, not just mentally, but or not just physically, but mentally. And that preparation, he was second to none. He was always a very good example for anyone that was watching him. I think in the corners and in front of the net, that's where, and along the walls, because that's where his tenacity, and also just his physicality, though, being able to be a little bit stronger and work harder than anyone else, be able to get that loose puck and get it to his teammates, or be able to fight off a check and bang that rebound home in front of the net. That type of thing. He was really good at that, and he was never shy to go to those tough areas. Those areas you don't sometimes get a lot of praise for doing it, but they're very important. You need one or two guys from a line to really specialize in that, to be able to get the puck back and get it to your other guys, so you can have a chance to create some offense. I really focused on the defensive side of the game, and also the physical side of the game, and tried to bring a pretty good work ethic to my game every single time I was out there. And I think that really helped when I saw how he worked and how he prepared himself as a professional. But he was quite a different player in the role that he was looked on to provide more offense at the time, and also be a pretty good example and leader for a lot of players on the team here in Calgary. You're always watching the older guys, the guys that have had some success in the league, and trying to learn from them and talk to them. And some of the guys are open to conversations to try to help you out, and some of the guys, they're not quite that way. But with Marty, he was always really good with talking to you. Didn't matter who you were or how old you were, and to pick his brain a little bit on what worked for him and what didn't work. But the main thing was just watching him on a day-to-day, and seeing him show up for practice and get ready to work that way. And it was the same thing for a game. It never changed for him. He was a gritty player. Like, I think he was a player that he brought that work ethic to the ice, but he also had skill where he would put up some pretty decent numbers, and play on your top 6 or top 9 forwards consistently, which that showed that he not only had skill, but he was able to contribute in other ways as well. And probably something that he's most famous for are his exploits in playoffs during playoff time here in 2004. Well, I believe we didn't clinch a playoff spot. I think it's still about the 80th game, so there was only 2 more games to go, and we got the spot that we wanted to, and the matchup that we wanted to, which was really important in being able to face the Vancouver Canucks in the first round. And it was a great hard-fought series between 2 Canadian teams with 2 very passionate fan bases, and I remember there were some classic games. There was a triple overtime game that we lost here in Calgary, and that led to Game 7 showdown in Vancouver, where it was just a wild end of the game. We were up, and we should have won it in regulation. There was a fan that had thrown a jersey on the ice at the time, and Vancouver was coming skating down the ice, and they made this play and ended up scoring, in the last, I think it was 20 seconds of the game to tie it up. But we were on the power play to go into the overtime, and we ended up, Marty ended up scoring the goal to eliminate the Canucks. So it was just an absolute roller coaster of a ride, and this was only the first round of the playoffs. So that led to the second round matchup against Detroit, and again a pretty hard fought series, low scoring series for both teams. And Mika Kiprusoff was playing great for us, and Curtis Joseph was in net for the Wings, and we were able to finish off the Wings in Game 6 here in Calgary. And I just remember Marty being on the right side of the net and batting, swatting in the puck, and people just going crazy. It was wild, and that was the way that run went. It was he's the one that got it started, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And it was just unfortunate that we ran out of gas and had a few too many injuries that we lost in the final in Game 7. In Game 6, I believe it was with around 5 or 6 minutes left to go in the game, in the third period in regulation. Marty was driving to the net, and the puck came to him, and he directed it on net, and it was just a quick bang play. And Habib Boulin, it looked like, made the save, and they reviewed it, but it didn't come out in our favor. But you see the shot after, you see some of the still shots and the video review, and it makes you really, like, it made me stay up at night sometimes after we ended up losing the next game in game 7, because we were that close, that call away from winning, in my opinion. So it was really tough to take at the time, and something that I didn't truly get over until I was able to be part of a championship in 2014, 10 years later, with the LA Kings. He was part of a great team, the end of really a dynasty up there in Edmonton at the start of his career. But I don't think you fully appreciate if you do win a Stanley Cup in your first kind of 3-4 years, because there's so many things that have to fall into place. It's you need the competitive team, you need players to stay healthy, and you need to win the games too. There's other teams that are hungry and trying to win as well. So it's an extremely difficult trophy to win in sport. And for me personally, in 2004, when we made it to the Stanley Cup final, ended up losing to Tampa Bay in those 7 games, I thought we'd be right back there again. But you look at that example, the next year we lost the entire year to the lockout. And the year after that, we were back in the playoffs, but then we would lose in the first round for a number of years in a row. And I wasn't back in the final till 10 years later with a different team. So that just goes to show you how difficult it is.